Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever the case may be in your part of the world. I'm Justin Emo Halamo. And without any further ado, we're going to bring you a video by Harvey Freebird. Harvey Freebird is a great guy on YouTube. I support his channel a lot. I enjoy his cop watches. He's always making a comment, well, I don't want to do a 4 or 5 hour stream. Well, I love those 4 or 5 hour streams, Harvey. Like last night, I was bummed out when you ended your live stream a little bit too early. I seen you start heading for the causeway, and I was like, shit. He's ending the live stream already. I could have sat here for a couple more hours of action last night, but no, you hit the causeway and went home. Oh well. But it's a good channel anyway. So he made this video about Karen Read, and he made a couple of mistakes in it, and I'm going to highlight his video. We're going to do a reaction video to his video, and I'm also going to leave you a link in the description so you can watch this video. But it was a couple of mistakes that Harvey made, which we're going to correct in this version of the video and share it with you. I sent Harvey an email right after he made this video asking for permission if I could share this video, and he never gave me an answer. Never got a return email. Or as of the last time I checked, he didn't return the email. So I did try to get permission to use this video before doing it. Hopefully he doesn't mind me playing this and critiquing his video. The way I'm doing this video is under fair use. The true meaning of fair use. Now, there's a version of theft on YouTube. When the trolls take every one of your videos, word for word, and they put it on another channel, so it fucks with your analytics, that to me is theft. A theft. That's stealing somebody's content. That's theft. When they do it over and over and over again, repeatedly, again, like I said, when they always restream me, and take every one of my videos and put it on their channel, to me that's harassment and theft. That's not fair use. That's abusing the fair use statute. What my trolls do, and they claim it's fair use, to me is not fair use. When you do it, when you deliberately go live when I go live, when you deliberately take all my content and put it on your channel, so I don't get the clicks and views on my channel, and it fucks up my analytics, yeah, that to me, and you're doing it deliberately to screw over somebody's monetization, their clicks and views, and their analytics, yeah, that is theft. Well, what we're doing today with Harvey Freebird's video is we are going to do the true meaning of fair use. So let's get into it. So this is Harvey Freebird's video. Are you ready for a retrial, Karen? That's what it's called. Now, as you know, my main channel got demonetized because I got into a fight with trolls. So, unfortunately, Harvey, by me playing this video, you're not going to get any ad revenue in this video because I have all the ads blocked. It's nothing against you, Harvey. It's just that I'm at war with YouTube. The trolls sent all kinds of letters to YouTube. The trolls, made snippets of my video and got one of my channels. I'm not sure if it's permanently demonetized or whatever. I don't remember what the email said. But since since I've been demonetized, I've been at a little war with Google. I'm trying not to give them any money in any shape or form. So, if you want to block ads on YouTube, use Brave browser. Because I haven't seen an ad in months. Now, if you're using Google Chrome and ad block, YouTube has found a way to circumvent Chrome and AdBlock Plus. But because me and YouTube are at war with each other right now because of me being demonetized on the main channel, I deliberately do whatever I can to make sure that YouTube doesn't get a dime. If I'm not getting paid for my videos, nobody else on YouTube is going to get a dime either. That's just the way I feel about it. So, alright, so we're playing this in Brave, and let's get into it.
A girlfriend of a Boston police officer who was found unresponsive in the snow Saturday morning. I-Team sources say Karen Reed was in a relationship with John O'Keefe. She's facing charges including motor vehicle homicide and manslaughter.
Karen Reed was framed. Her car never struck John O'Keefe. She did not cause his death. And that means that somebody else did. You will learn that it was no accident that John O'Keefe was found dead on the front lawn of 34 Fairview Road. You will learn that at that address lived a well-known and well-connected law enforcement family in Canton, the Alberts. Because the Alberts were involved, and because they had close connections to the investigators in this case, Karen Reed was framed for a murder she did not commit.
We know who did it.
Damn right. Framed for a murder she did not commit. Damn right. 100%. 100%. She's being framed. And like Harvey Freebird named his video, she backed the blue, and now the blue is framing her. Damn right. Damn right.
We know. And we know who spearheaded this cover-up. You all know. I tried to save his life.
Yeah.
I tried to save his life at 6 in the morning. I was covered in his blood. I was the only one trying to save his life.
You knew at that time, Trooper Proctor, that this was not going to implicate in any way, shape, form, or fashion another cop, correct?
Correct.
Alright, before we get into the other video, there's also another update that I want to throw in this video. You just heard that they were talking about State Trooper Proctor. There was text messages that State Trooper Proctor sent to the McCabe's and the Alberts that said, this woman is fucked. She's got no way out of it. She's fucked. Then he belittled her. He called her all kinds of names. He belittled her. Basically, texting his colleagues, calling her a piece of trash and a no good woman. Well, you realize because of his remarks that came out in the first trial of what he said and what he texted about Karen Reed, calling her vile and fat pig and all this other shit that he called her. He got recently dishonorably discharged from the Massachusetts State Police. So when we get to the part about the testimony of Proctor in this video, I just want to let everybody know that because of his actions, his text messages, and the nasty and vile things that he said about Karen Reed, Proctor has been dishonorably discharged from the state police. He is no longer a trooper because of what he said and his actions in the Karen Reed trial. This guy has been fired. Now let's get back into the video.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody.
Today, we're diving into one of the most disturbing cases I've ever followed. The case of Karen Read, a woman who's being framed for murder by the very people who should be investigating it. Corrupt police officers. And make no mistake, the evidence that cops killed John O'Keefe and pinned it on Karen is overwhelming. This case shows exactly what happens when the system protects itself. Evidence was destroyed. Evidence was manufactured. Investigators, prosecutors, the lead detective, even the judge, all tangled up in nepotism and self-preservation. This isn't justice. It's a cover-up. Now
that it's got the judge on the screen, let's get into the judge, shall we? Let's get into the judge. Now that he's got the judge on the screen. Because I'm going to show you a shot right here from a news article. Okay? Judge Beverly is close friends with the McCabe's. The McCabe's consider Judge Beverly anti-Bev. You know, like aunt and uncle? They consider her anti-Bev. And let's see if I can make this bigger so you can see it. Well, let's take a screenshot of this, shall we? This is when the defense tried to get the judge removed because the McCabe's call her anti-Bev. Look at this, okay? And I'll actually have a link in the bottom of the description of this news article. So you want to talk about a crooked judge, you want to talk about corruption. If this ain't a goddamn conflict of interest, I don't know what the fuck is. The defense attorney presented a message between Sean McCabe and a reporter as evidence. Sean McCabe is Jennifer McCabe's brother-in-law. And then here's where the part is right here. Anti-Bev. See it? No, I'm not in a conflict of interest. I don't know what is, people. And the judge would not recuse herself. So I'm going to have this article in the description so you can read it further. Okay? So there's even conflict of interest right there with the judge. Now let's go back to Harvey Freebird's video and continue.
Here's the part they don't want you to hear. John O'Keefe was a cop, but he wasn't one of them. He was not in their inner circle. He wasn't accepted. According to reports, he had called out bad police behavior in the past, which breaks the sacred thin blue line code. That alone was enough to put a target on his back. And his so-called friends that he was hanging out with, officers Brian Albert and Brian Higgins, two key figures in this case. They didn't even go to his funeral. Think about that. Their fellow officer is dead, found on Brian Albert's own front yard, and they couldn't be bothered to go to his funeral. But now in court, they sit there pretending to be heartbroken, pretending they cared. It's a performance, and it is damage control. Meanwhile, Brian Higgins was trying to steal Karen Read from John O'Keefe behind his back. Add to that a night of heavy drinking, a house full of off-duty cops with violent tendencies, and you've got a dangerous mix of ego, jealousy, and rage. That's the motive they don't want to talk about, but it's at the center of this tragedy. Karen Read already survived one trial, and the jury saw through the lies. But instead of letting her go, the judge declared a mistrial, giving the prosecution a second chance to twist the truth. Now she's facing a second trial, another multi-million-dollar fight for her life, and another round of being dragged through hell. I've been wanting to make this video for a long time, but because it's so exhaustive with so much information, I've been procrastinating. But with the retrial coming, now is the time.
Yeah, Harvey, don't ever procrastinate. Don't ever do that, bro. Don't ever procrastinate. I think everything is done in its own good time, and I think this happened to be the time you made the video. So, yep, anytime you want to make a video like this, I support you 100%, Harvey Freebird. I will always watch this kind of content from you. Don't ever worry about it being lame or too boring or whatever. Just, if you feel the need to make a video on it, do it.
This is about power, lies, and the system eating one of its own to survive. We're going to break down the cover-up, the red flags, and the undeniable evidence that Karen Read is innocent and that the real criminals are hiding behind the badges and the bench. On the night of January 28, 2022, John O'Keefe and Karen Read visited two bars in Canton, Massachusetts, C.F. McCarthy's and Waterfall Bar and Grill. At the Waterfall Bar and Grill, they met with acquaintances, including fellow police officers Brian Albert and Brian Higgins. It's important to note that Karen Read and John O'Keefe were getting along just fine that night. Shortly after midnight, Brian Albert invited the group back to his home on 34 Fairview Road in Canton, Massachusetts. And very oddly, Brian Higgins sent John O'Keefe a text message and invited him there. And that was very odd because Brian Higgins had never been that close with John O'Keefe before and had never invited him anywhere before that night. At 12:24 a.m. on January 29, 2022, Karen Read pulled up to 34 Fairview Road and dropped off her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe. She waited outside in her car and called him multiple times, but he never answered. Meanwhile, data from John's Apple Health app shows he got out of his car, walked to the house, went through the door, and descended down into the basement. Karen waited about 6 minutes before driving off. At 12:36 a.m., her phone connected to John's home Wi-Fi. Solid proof that she went back to his house at that time. That drive takes at least 6 minutes in good weather, and on this night the conditions were terrible. Snow, ice, and a blizzard. Low visibility. Here's where the time gets critical. At 12:32 a.m., 4 minutes before her phone connected to the Wi-Fi, John's phone was moved from inside the house to the front yard, right near the curb where his body would later be found. His body would be brought out later and placed in the same exact spot. And then there's the snowplow driver, Lucky. He passed by multiple times, cleaning the streets after Karen Read had already left. He testified that he didn't see a body in the yard during any of his passes. Lucky has also proven to have somewhat of a photogenic memory. After Karen got home, she went to sleep for a little bit. When she woke up, John still hadn't returned her call. She started calling her friends and looking for John, trying to figure out where he went, not knowing the storm that she was about to walk into.
When you made that first pass by that residence at 2:45 in the morning, sir, with your headlights on, what, if anything, did you see on the front lawn in the area of the flagpole?
I saw nothing.
If there had been a 6'2", 200-pound man lying in the snow there, would you have seen it?
Yes.
Karen Read tried to call John O'Keefe over 50 times and left numerous voicemails looking for him, also calling her friends repeatedly, trying to get information or find John O'Keefe, with no success.
John, I'm going home. I cannot babysit Amy. I need to go home.
She leaves him 8 voicemails.
You are too busy right now. Another girl sleeping next to me. You're a loser. Yourself. John, I'm telling you, kid. Nobody knows what the you want. Yeah, it's 1 in the morning. I'm with your niece and nephew.
Can't believe it's not good.
Hi, my name is Carrie. I'm calling because my friend's boyfriend did not come home last night. They were at Waterfall, and now she is calling me hysterical because she doesn't know where he is. You didn't pick anybody up by the name of John O'Keefe, did you?
John O'Keefe?
Yeah, he's a Boston cop.
No, we didn't lock anybody up or anything like that.
After Karen Reed left Brian Albert's house, she drove back to John O'Keefe's home. Her Ring camera caught her backing into John's car, cracking her taillight. She then parked, went inside, and fell asleep, thinking John would be home soon. But when she woke up around 5:06 a.m., he still wasn't there. That's when the panic set in. Karen called her friend Carrie Roberts, asking if she had seen or heard from John. Carrie said no. At 5:29 a.m., Karen called Jennifer McCabe with the same questions. Jen said she didn't know where John was either. Worried and frantic, Karen Reed got back in her SUV, picked up both Carrie and Jennifer McCabe, and the three of them drove back to 34 Fairview, Brian Albert's house. Around 6 a.m., they found John O'Keefe lying in the front yard near the street. Karen tried to perform CPR and resuscitate John, and no one else helped her. But it was too late. John was already gone. That's when Jennifer McCabe called 911.
911, what's emergency?
I need someone to come immediately to 34 Fairview Road, Canton, Mass.
What's going on?
There's a guy unresponsive in the snow. I just pulled up and found him. I know, I'm on the phone with the ambulance. I know, honey, I know. So, Carrie, you gotta get off him, honey. Carrie, you gotta get off of him.
Is there any bleeding or anything? Maybe hit his head out?
Yes, possibly. There seems to be bleeding in the face.
Okay, bleeding from the face. All right.
One of the women is doing CPR. It doesn't seem to be breathing.
Just give us a call back if he becomes responsive, right? But we're on the way.
After paramedics arrived, John O'Keefe was found with multiple and 2 black eyes. He also had cuts.
Say it. He had all kinds of cuts, lacerations, and puncture wounds on his body. Harvey didn't say it in this video, but I will. Those marks on John O'Keefe's body would be later discussed whether it was the Albert's dog that possibly attacked John O'Keefe. Because those marks on his arm, even though Harvey blurred it out, it didn't say what was on his arm. He had scratches, puncture wounds on his body, which the defense claims was caused by the Albert's dog attacking John O'Keefe.
And abrasions on his arm that looked like they came from an animal attack. Then came what can only be described as a clown show of an investigation. The Canton police showed up and started collecting what they thought was blood-stained snow using red Solo cups borrowed from a neighbor. They used a leaf blower.
Yeah, they put the evidence in red Solo cups and used the leaf blower to try to get the evidence. Then, later in court, when they're showing the vehicle in the police's custody, they show behind Karen Reed's car the paper bag and all the Solo cups with the melted snow in it, still sitting in the paper bag hours later. Now, if you're going to preserve evidence, you put it in a Ziploc fucking bag. And if it was snow, it should have been put in a goddamn fucking freezer. It wasn't put in a fucking freezer. It wasn't preserved in a fucking tamper-proof fucking Ziploc bag. It wasn't put in an evidence bag where contaminants couldn't get into that sample. I still remember it being showed when that car was in the police fucking custody, and the bag was exactly 3 feet from the fucking back of the car. I still fucking remember it. So that is not the way you preserve evidence, morons. I'm not a cop. I'm not a fucking lawyer, and I'm not a forensic scientist. But I know goddamn well that when you get fucking evidence, you put it in sealable bags where the evidence can't be hampered with, can't be fucked with. Let's continue.
Or to clear snow, hoping to find evidence. But they found nothing. No broken glass, no taillight fragments, nothing. And they didn't even go inside the Albert house, despite John's body being found right in the front yard. None of the investigators bothered to check the Ring doorbell cameras from homes across the street, even though those cameras were owned by a fellow cop. When the defense finally looked into it, they were told there was no footage of the incident. How convenient. Brian Albert, a trained first responder, never came outside the entire time police and paramedics were in his front yard. Meanwhile, his buddy, Brian Higgins, who had been drinking all night, left and drove to the Canton Police Department where he had an office. He had no business being there at that hour, except to gather intel and report back to Brian Albert. Phone records show several calls were made between the two, which both men claimed did not happen. When confronted about these calls with evidence, they said it must have been butt dials. Funny.
And here's where Harvey made another mistake in this video. Let's talk about the phones, shall we? Not only were there text messages between these assholes, not only were there text messages, but actual phone calls. And what did the prosecutor's office say to the McCabe's and the Alberts? Keep your phones. Do not get rid of them. Do not destroy them. Do not, because your phones may be used as evidence later on. Well, what did they do? The beginning of February? The Alberts and McCabe's got all brand new cell phones. Why did they get all brand new cell phones, people? Why the fuck would you get a brand new cell phone? To hide fucking evidence. That's another part Harvey left out. Well, maybe Harvey didn't realize it, but, you know, not only was there evidence on these phones, but they were ordered by the prosecutors not to get rid of the phones. And what did they do? Oh, the Alberts and the McCabe's decided to miraculously update their plan. Oh, they were eligible for fucking phone upgrades. So they decided to upgrade their fucking phones at a brilliant, convenient time, if you ask me. I think they did it to destroy evidence. That's why they got rid of their phones. That's why they changed their phones. Because they were told not to change their phones. They got rid of the phones. And guess what they did? They took the old phones and put them in one of those things where you can go into Walmart and put your thing in the machine and it scans your phone and pays you cash for the phones. That's what they did with their phones. So a lot of the evidence was destroyed by these assholes conveniently getting new phones. I find it ironic. So that's another point that Harvey didn't touch on in the video, but I will.
These butt dials didn't even go to voicemail, and they were answered. Very suspicious. Due to the close relationship between the Canton police and the Albert family, the Canton Police Department recused itself. The Massachusetts State Police took over and handed the case to Trooper Michael Proctor, a known friend of the Albert family. Once Proctor was in charge, he seized Karen Reed's SUV. Only after her SUV was seized, pieces of her taillight conveniently began showing up in the Albert front yard where John O'Keefe's body was found. Then it got even more shady. Proctor's text messages revealed a clear bias. He bragged that the Alberts wouldn't face any heat because Brian Albert was a Boston cop. Early on in the investigation, long before any solid evidence was gathered, he wrote that Karen Read was quote-unquote fucked. On February 1st, 2022, Karen Read was arrested and charged with second-degree murder, manslaughter while operating under the influence, and leaving the scene of an accident. According to Trooper Proctor in the Commonwealth, Karen supposedly put her SUV in reverse and struck John O'Keefe, killing him and causing all of his injuries. They claim her taillight shattered on impact, and the flying plastic somehow caused all the deep lacerations on his arm that, let's not forget, looks more like an animal attack. From that point on, Karen Read was in the fight of her life, with the deck stacked against her. Proctor in the Commonwealth built a case designed to protect Brian Albert, Brian Higgins, and the Thin Blue Line that shield cops from accountability. Julie Albert even texted Michael Proctor, saying she wanted to buy him a gift for doing a great job on the investigation. It didn't stop there. Text messages revealed that Judge Beverly Cannoni, who's overseeing the case, also has friendly ties to the Albert family. She refused to recuse herself, and she blocked a key evidentiary hearing that would have allowed the defense to dig deeper into the McCabe's.
And I didn't think Harvey put that part in there, but that's what I was saying earlier about the judge, where the McCabe's call her Auntie Bev, like I showed you in this screenshot a minute ago. I thought that part was missing in there, Harvey, but I guess you did put it in. So there's the evidence where she refused to recuse herself. And you want to talk about your conflict of interest, people? You want to talk about your fucking conflict of interest.
Another family closely tied to this incident. The defense's theory is simple. John O'Keefe went into the Albert home where he was assaulted and attacked by an animal. After he died, his body was moved through a cellar door in the Albert home where he was assaulted and attacked by an animal. After he died, his body was moved to an evidentiary hearing that would have allowed the defense to dig deeper into the McCabe's, another family closely tied to this incident. The defense's theory is simple. John O'Keefe went into the Albert home where he was assaulted and attacked by an animal. After he died, his body was moved through a cellar door, allowed the defense to dig deeper into the McCabe's, another family closely tied to this incident. The defense's theory is simple. John O'Keefe went into the Albert home where he was assaulted and attacked by an animal. After he died, his body was moved through a cellar door and dragged out to the front yard, where it was staged to look like a hit and run.
Had an officer, Boston police officer, who was either dead or dying on the front lawn of a house with a bunch of occupants, and you didn't think that it was necessary to investigate or interview those occupants yourself?
No, I did not.
Did you look around the house for any sign of a struggle or a fight?
No.
Did you go to the basement at all? No. Did you personally observe whether or not that house has a bulkhead door that services the basement?
I have no idea.
Inside the house, did you photograph any part of the house?
No.
While you were on scene at 34 Fairview for an hour and 40 minutes, and you wrote a report regarding this, correct?
I did.
How many pieces of taillight did you find on or around that property?
That morning, none.
I found multiple pieces of red and clear taillight.
You know approximately how many pieces of that were located on that day?
I believe maybe 6 or 7 pieces.
He owns a dog. We have specific evidence. Talk about specificity. Specific evidence from one of the country's leading pathologists indicating that John O'Keefe's arm was mauled by a dog. Brian Albert's dog was a 90-pound German Shepherd. Oh, and by the way, Brian Albert made sure to get rid of that dog in the months following John O'Keefe's death, after that dog had literally been with the family for some 7 or 8 years. Is the injury to the head that you saw consistent with having been struck by a vehicle?
It is not, no, sir. To get the injury, it was a fracture at the occipital region of the head, which is basically on the back bottom part of the head. So in order to have that part of the head contacted by the tail light, you would somehow have to have a configuration or be standing in a manner that the rest of your body doesn't get hit, because there's no other significant injuries to the body. So the fact that we only have that head injury and only damage to the occipital portion of the skull is inconsistent in this case with being struck by that tail light.
What is your opinion and conclusion concerning those injuries?
Those injuries appear to be consistent with an animal attack. Well, they are consistent with a large dog attack. There's a combination of both what I consider bite wounds and scratch wounds on the arm. There were also some puncture wounds in that shirt.
Ms. Albert, you don't have Chloe anymore, do you?
Nope.
In May of 2022, 4 months after Mr. O'Keefe's death, you got rid of your family dog of 6 years.
I did not get rid of my dog, I rehomed my dog.
Not only did they get rid of their dog Chloe that they had had for 7 years, but they also sold their home that had been in their family for decades, and they sold it way below the market value.
Did you, in fact?
Yeah, so why would you be in a rush to get rid of the dog? Why would you be in a rush to get rid of the house? Because you got a guilty conscience, and you got something to fucking hide. Yeah, I'm calling out the Alberts. You got rid of the fucking dog and the fucking house because you got something to fucking hide. And if you don't like that I said that to fucking Alberts, come fucking sue me with a fucking lawsuit. We'll gladly go to court and dance around you fucking pieces of shit. That's why they got rid of the house. They got rid of the dog because they knew damn well they let their dog attack John fucking O'Keefe. That's what happened to John O'Keefe. The family, they hit him on the head and they fucking let the dog fucking maul him and attack him. And then they threw him out in the snow where he fucking died in a fucking snowbank. And then to cover themselves up, what the fuck do? They get rid of the phones that they have as fucking evidence. They get rid of the fucking dog as evidence. They get rid of the fucking family home as evidence. That tells me they are all guilty. Guilty as charged. And they're the people that should be in the courtroom right now, being charged with murder. Not fucking Karen Reed.
Use a phrase to Google search how long it takes for someone to die of extreme temperatures.
I did in the morning at the request of your client.
You see this first search that says how long to die in cold?
I do.
What's that time?
2:27 a.m.
Ms. McCabe, you made that search at 2:27 a.m. because you knew that John O'Keefe was outside in your sister's lawn dying in the cold, didn't you?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes, you lying, ruthless fucking cunt! You're a lying, ruthless fucking cunt! A cunt today, a cunt tomorrow, a cunt 10,000 years from now! You are a lying fucking cunt!
Ms. McCabe, the reason you deleted that 2:27 a.m. call is because you realized that if you were caught Googling how long it takes for a person to die in the cold 3.5 hours before John's body was found, that would incriminate you, wouldn't it?
And what does he say in that text?
I'm sure the owner of the house will receive some.
And what is it that you respond?
My first response was nope. Homeowner is a Boston cop too.
What, if anything, were you saying, or? And what does he say in that text?
I'm sure the owner of the house will receive some.
And what is it that you respond?
My first response was nope.
See, I don't believe in the wussification of YouTube, so I'm actually gonna. He put beats in, but I'm actually gonna say, I'm sure the owner of the house is gonna receive some fucking shit. No, the homeowner is a fucking Boston cop too.
Homeowner is a Boston cop too.
What, if anything, were you saying, or what was the purpose of that text in regard to the homeowner?
I was just letting him know that essentially Mr. O'Keefe is a Boston cop and the homeowner was a Boston cop as well.
You knew at that time, Trooper Proctor, that this was not going to implicate in any way, shape, form, or fashion another cop, correct?
Correct.
And then 5051 says, oh, she's skating, right?
Correct.
And what did you write after that?
My response was 0 chance she skated.
Zero chance she's gonna skate because you're gonna fucking frame her. That's why. 0 chance that she skated because you're gonna frame the fucking woman. That's why. That's fucking why. Pieces of shit. Clear, convincing, and pure as fucking day.
And then what did you write?
She's
0 chance she skates.
The message that's bleeped out. Oh, she's skating. 0 chance she's skating. She's fucking fucked. I'm not gonna Jerry Springer my channel. I'm sorry. This is an adult fucking platform, and when there's a swear word that gets bleeped out, I'm gonna fucking say it, because I believe in the First Amendment in the United States of the fucking America, and I believe you should be able to say cunt, fuck, shit, damn, whatever the fuck you want on YouTube, and not have to censor yourself. I know Harvey's doing it because he's monetized. I understand that, but I will not cow down to the wussification of YouTube, where everything's gonna be beep, 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 beep. My name is Justin Emo Hollywolf, not Jerry cock-sucking motherfucking son of a bitch, hallelujah, Jerry Springer.
She's right?
correct.
17 hours into this investigation, Trooper Proctor, you made the decision that you were going to put it on Miss Reed, didn't you? Put the case on Miss Reed. She was going to catch the case, correct? What you meant by that comment, Trooper Proctor, was I am going to make sure Ms. Reed doesn't skate.
Trooper Michael Proctor showed pieces from the taillight of Karen Reed's SUV, which he says he first noticed when he saw it outside Reed's parents' home following John O'Keefe's death.
The right rear taillight had essentially large pieces missing from it.
The defense says Proctor broke the taillight after the SUV was seized as evidence and brought to the Canton Police Department. Proctor denied that.
Sergeant Mechanic and I never touched any part of that vehicle.
Proctor says he never made any decisions about the case on his own and that he conducted nearly all of the interviews with other officers present. Another investigator, Sergeant Yuri Buchenek, was again grilled about video of Reed's SUV at the Canton Police Department. The video was originally shown to the jury horizontally inverted.
Do you believe that what the jurors are seeing right here is a true and accurate surveillance footage of the Sally Port that night?
Yes, it's just mirrored. Defense attorney Alan Jackson said about 2/3 of the mirrored video is missing and that people in the video seem to appear out of nowhere.
Another thing that needs to be pointed out, the Canton Library is in between Brian Albert's home and John O'Keefe's home. They have a camera that records traffic that goes by. Well, the video footage from 12:30 to 12:36 is missing, and that is the time slot that Karen Reed would have drove.
Missing? How fucking convenient. How fucking convenient that it's missing. Oh, it's missing? Oh, how fucking convenient.
Drove by the library. Now, why is that significant? Well, because if they had the video, that would have shown whether or not her taillight was broken or not. But That's just another piece to the puzzle that doesn't make sense and makes this look like she was framed and this was a cover-up.
So now we have the lead investigator from Massachusetts State Police literally discussing the exchange of gifts between the Albert family on the one hand and the Proctor family on the other hand as a thank you, their words, for helping the Alberts out of a jam. And if you looked up quid pro quo in the dictionary, you would find this set of text messages. Any one of these examples, and I didn't touch on all of them, but any one of these examples, the gift giving, the babysitting, the telephone extraction, the Google search at 2:27 in the morning, all of these, any one of these would be enough to dismiss the charges as they sit here today. But the cumulative effect of this deception and all of it, this distortion in front of the grand jury, is too much for the court to ignore. The simple fact, Your Honor, is the presentation before by the Commonwealth before the grand jury in the state court action, it just wasn't fair. That's the easiest way to say it. It just didn't give Miss Reed a fair shot. It just didn't. Ladies and gentlemen, there was a cover-up in this case, plain and simple. What evidence do they actually have to prove that that SUV ever hit John? The answer is none, and John's injuries did not come from being hit by a car. So how are those injuries properly explained? The evidence is simple. John got into an altercation. He got hit, and he fell to the ground, fracturing his skull. At some point during that altercation, the dog got a hold of him. Every single injury is explained by that. Given what we know about the facts and the physical evidence in this case, the actual truth in this case, how did this happen? How did we end up here? We ended up here because of relationships and building a tall blue wall.
On June 25th, 2024, the case went to the jury. After 5 days of deliberation, they returned a verdict of not guilty on murder, not guilty on leaving the scene of an accident. However, they were deadlocked on the charge of manslaughter, resulting in a hung jury. Instead of honoring the not guilty verdicts and declaring a partial mistrial on the one unresolved charge, Judge Beverly Cannoni, who has shown clear bias throughout the trial, rushed to declare a mistrial on all 3 counts. She failed to properly poll the jury and gave unclear instructions, contributing to the confusion. It was a blatant miscarriage of justice, and it speaks volumes about the level of corruption surrounding this case. Judge Cannoni refused to recuse herself despite serious conflicts of interest during this case. She sided with the prosecution at nearly every turn. In many ways, it felt like Karen Reed was fighting 2 prosecutors, one at the table and one wearing the robe. Let's be honest, this case was never about justice. It's about power, control, and protecting their own. Michael Morrissey and the Norfolk County DA's office have made it clear. They are willing to do whatever it takes to bury the truth and railroad Karen Reed. This video only scratches the surface. There are countless red flags that point to Karen Reed's innocence and the cover-up surrounding John O'Keefe's death. Honestly, the amount of information surrounding this case is overwhelming. But staying silent wasn't an option. I had to speak out and make this video. If you want to help Karen Reed in her fight, check the description below. I've included links to her defense fund because this is a multi-million-dollar defense legal battle, and they're making her go through it all over again because a corrupt judge saw no other way to keep the cover-up alive. And right now, as we speak, her second trial is gearing up and getting started. I'll be covering it right here on this channel. Stay tuned, stay alert, and keep sharing the truth.
I'm declaring a mistrial in this case.
I'm not from Texas like my colleagues here. I'm a Boston kid, but I'll repeat what he said, which is, we ain't got no quit.
So that's just my take on this whole Karen Reed thing. She's being framed. And recently, because of Proctor's mouth and the way he called Karen Reed vile and disgusting things, Proctor has been dishonorably discharged from the fucking state police. Dishonorably discharged because of the words he used in those text messages and the way he called Karen Reed a fat bitch. She's an ugly cunt. She's a worthless human being. And said all kinds of other things in the text messages. Made it that he was dishonorably discharged from the Massachusetts State Police. So when court starts this coming Tuesday, which will be, let me make sure I get the date ready for people that are watching this late. Tuesday, April 22nd will be the first day of the Karen Reed trial. Tuesday, April 22nd at 8:30 in the morning, New York and Boston time. I will leave you a link to my Rumble channel because I will be restreaming the whole entire court case on my Rumble channel. So again, that's April 22nd at 8:30 in the morning. I'll see you on Rumble. I'll leave you the links to where I'll be live streaming the case live on my Rumble channel. Now, I'm not going to stream it on YouTube because everybody and their cocksucking brother wants to stream it on YouTube. So I'm going to stream it to Rumble and a few other places other than YouTube because everybody else is doing it. You got the jackass by the name of Turtle Boy doing it. Harvey Freebird is going to be covering the channel. You got all kinds of court TV networks covering it. All the news channels in Boston are covering it. So to me, YouTube is oversaturated with too much coverage of the Karen Reed trial. So I'm going to be doing mine on Rumble. Link is in the description. I'm also going to be doing it on my Roku channel. The links to that will be in the description. Go to my radio station at whwf.co. That's www.whwf.co. And go to the WHWT tab on the website, and you can tune in over there, and you will see the Karen Reed trial streaming on the radio station as well. I'm also going to set up a free Shoutcast server because I can't afford another server. I'm going to add another Shoutcast server to the radio station, and I'm going to stream the audio of the Karen Reed trial on Channel 2 at WHWF.co, which I will also leave in the description of this video. So again, Harvey, I appreciate you taking the time and making this video, but you left out that part about them getting rid of the cell phones, and I had to put it back in. Because you left that out, bro. You left that out. So now you know how to get to Emo Howling Moose Roku channel. And normally what I do on the Roku channel, normally I stream movies on the weekends. That's what I normally do with the Roku channel. So what we're going to do is we're going to use it for Karen Reed during the weekdays and then play movies at night. Okay? So, we're going to interrupt the movie streams that I play on that channel, and we're going to bring you the Karen Reed trial. But like I said, I don't want to do it on YouTube because YouTube is oversaturated with too many guys doing it. And again, seeing that YouTube wanted to demonetize me back in 2021, and me and Google are having a little beef with each other, if you do not want to see ads on a video, download Brave browser. That's right. Use Brave browser along with AdBlock Plus. Brave browser and AdBlock Plus. You'll never see another ad on YouTube again. Because if I'm not getting paid on YouTube, nobody else is getting paid on YouTube. Just saying. Thank you, Harvey. I will continue to support you, Harvey. You rock, Harvey. You're a decent guy. I appreciate you taking the time. And yes, if you want to watch the Karen Reed trial on Harvey Freebird's channel, go for it. I will leave a link to Harvey Freebird's channel if you want to go watch the Karen Reed trial on Harvey's channel. I'm going to plug Harvey Freebird because he's a great guy, a great cop watcher, great entertainer, and I actually like the dude. So you know what? He doesn't even have to promote me back. And I don't want him to promote me back. I'm not doing this for clout. I'm not doing this for clicks and views. I'm only doing this because this is my opinion on the Karen Reed trial. She is being framed, people. She is being 100% framed. From the judge to everybody else. There's no doubt in my mind that this woman is not being framed. And do you realize, look, if you go to my Rumble channel right now, you will see 10 days where I streamed the jury selection. Do you realize they were in the 1200s on the 10th day? So that means they had 1,200 to 1,500 jurors. 12 to 1,500 jurors. And they had to take... So let's go with the higher number. Let's say we'll put it in the middle. Let's say over 12,000, over 1,200 jurors, right? They had over 1,200 jurors. So you mean to tell me, out of 1,200 plus jurors, you weaned that down to 18 people? Because that's how many people they have on the jury right now. They have 12 people as the primary jury and 6 alternates. Excuse me. They took 18 people to be the jury out of 1,200 plus people. So do the math. You can see that they were going through jurors like you wouldn't believe, like sand through a screen. They were going through the, like sand through a sieve, or however you want to say it. They were bleeding jurors, and it took over almost 10 days to find a jury out of 1,200 people to weed them down to 18 people. And every time she asked, do you know Karen Reed? Have you heard about the trial? Half the jury pool per day said yes, they heard of Karen Reed. Yes, they heard about the trial. Yes, they had an opinion about the trial. They were losing 70 to 90% of the jury pool every friggin' day. For 10 days that went on. And you mean to tell me, if they fuck up this trial, they're going to be able to try her a third time? You barely got a jury for this trial. So you damn well better get it right. Because you're not going to be able to retrial her a third time. And if she's found in a hung jury again, I think I'll say everybody in Massachusetts is a fucking moron for retrying her a third time. If it comes to that. If it comes to that. But in my true 100% feeling and every fiber of my being, this woman is being framed. She's being set up. She's being railroaded. And I hope that she gets acquitted. Because The thing, I don't want her found guilty. I do not want her found guilty, and I do not want another hung jury, because if there's a hung jury again, like I just said, they had a hard time finding a jury for this case. Over 1,200 people to select 18. What makes you think there's going to be a snowball chance in hell of finding a jury a third time? So, I want to be done with this. This Karen Reed. So now we're going to put up with, she's saying 6 to 8 weeks to the trial. I'm going to say 10 to 12 because she says, oh, I've never had her. And then she says this in the morning, every morning. She says, well, our trial should take about 6 to 8 weeks. And I've never had to tell a jury we were late. Well, they were multiply late in the first trial. So that's a lie, Beverly. That's a lie. You were late multiple times in the first trial. So don't sit there and say, I've never told the jury we were late. So seeing that they were late last time, she's saying, oh, the trial should take 6 to 8 weeks for us to decide. No, I'm going to say 10 to 12 weeks. That's what I think. I don't think they're going to be able to do it. And in 6 to 8 weeks, come on. Not happening. So, Harvey, I thank you for that great piece of journalism, Harvey. I thank you for that great content. You know, and I just wanted to share that with you and share my opinion of it. Because everything I do on this channel is in my opinion. So without any further ado, I'm going to shut the channel down and I will see everybody on the next one. Peace. All right. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever the case may be in your part of the world. I'm Justin E. Mahalo. As we know, YouTube caters to the troll. They don't cater to the good broadcaster like myself, the good content creator like myself. They give the trolls all the tools on the silver platter to steal my content and make money on my content, where I'm not even allowed to be monetized. I'm not even allowed to have super chats. I'm not allowed to have any support from my YouTube subscribers, but yet the trolls can do that. Well, to circumvent that, if YouTube doesn't want to support us, we'll do it on our own. You can join our locals today for $5 a month. That's right, you can join locals for $5 a month and become a partner of the channel. That's right, if you would like to become a partner of my channel for $5 a month, go to the link below, locals@locals.com, and join today. Another way that you can find our locals is by going to our Rumble channel. Go to our Rumble channel, which you can see on the screen, and when you get to Rumble, next to the follow button, there should be a red join button. Click the red join button, sign up for locals, and become a supporter today.